Our final guest today for the art display is Obi Emmanuel, a graduate of Laspo Tech, where he obtained his HND, of course, and ND. He loves creating mixed media sculptures and metal junk using recyclable materials, wood carvings, and modeling in clay, as you can see here. It is great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You know, when we say mixed material, I'm thinking of canvas and all of that, but using mixed material for sculpting and all of that, that is something that is not so prevalent, I must say, so far from all I've seen when it comes to art. So that is quite unique. But let's talk about how this started for you. Before school, what did you study?
I studied art and industrial design.
Art and industrial design.
Yes.
Is that what you always wanted to study?
No. I wanted to study political science.
Ah.
Yes, that was my original dream. So I got into the art thing when I visited my elder brother. He happens to be an artist too, a sculptor, to be precise, yes. When I visited him in school, I saw the things that he was doing. He was actually very good at it, one of the best.
Wow.
So when I saw what he was doing, I was inspired. So I told my dad, I didn't want to study political science again. I want to go into art, and luckily enough, he agreed with me. He said I can do whatever I want.
What was your brother studying that time?
He was studying the same thing, art and industrial design, yes.
Okay, so you saw him and inspired.
Yes.
But before that time, did you have any personal, like, was it like you could draw or something? Was there anything that showed you that you could excel as an artist?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't privileged to have an art teacher when I was in secondary school.
Okay.
But I could scribble some things on the floor and all that, and people liked it.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I knew what art was then. So I actually dabbled into it when I saw what he was doing.
Wow,
and from there, I picked up, though it was a bit challenging from the beginning, because I schooled in the village, right? So when I got to Lagos, when I met my friends, when I got admission, it was confusing when they were mentioning art materials and all that, where they used to get art materials and what they were doing. I was confused.
Okay.
It was a new thing to me, yeah, a new concept. But it wasn't too, it wasn't far from, the idea actually started flowing as soon as I started it. Yeah, so because art is one thing that is an innate thing, though it can be dormant in you, you may not actually know that.
So you think it was dormant in you?
Yes, every one of us, we are all born artists.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
okay.
It is there. You may not actually, you know, when we're small, when we're growing up, we could actually scribble things and all that. You had that confidence, you doing things, even though it was rubbish, you had that confidence because you didn't know it was acceptable or not. But at a point, your parents start telling you, that thing you are doing, what do you think? That is nothing, that is rubbish.
And then
stop
that's when it
playing
starts,
with that.
I get what
So we tend to lose it in that process. But it's actually there, it's there. Yeah, so if you pick up the courage to facing it, you can actually do a lot in art.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then you went to school, you were inspired by your brother. How good are you now compared to your brother now, if you want to rate yourself?
Sincerely, it's still a mile away.
Okay.
It's still a mile away, but that does not mean I can't actually
hold your own.
Yeah, yes, I can.
Exactly. Let's talk about these art pieces that we have here. What are they called? Or yeah, what's this tall?
All right, so this is a wood carving. Yeah, I made this months ago, and this is a representation of a Benin art.
Okay.
Yes, if you look at it very well, you look at some of the symbolic of Benin things there with the bead and with the, if you look at one side of the carving, you see the Ada and the Eben, which is symbolic in Benin Kingdom. Yeah, the Ada being being a sword for honor, while the Eben being for dancing.
Okay.
Yeah, so as a king, this is actually royalty. This carving is symbolic of royalty. You know, as a king, you have the peaceful side of you, which is for dancing there, and you also have the other part of you, which is for war. Yeah, a warrior. So if you look at the mask very well, look at the face there, a part of it, look at it, looks as if he's smiling. A king can actually smile in the midst of all the pains and all that. And when it's time to actually take actions, he can actually do that too. So that is what that work actually represents. Royalty, all encompassing in that work.
Oh, this is really beautiful. What wood was this carved on?
This is an Iroko.
Iroko.
Yeah, one of the strongest wood.
And that's the next question I wanted to ask her. How hard is it? Was definitely hard to carve.
Yes, it is. It is. It's a wood that can actually last for up to like 500 years. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's quite something. Okay, let's talk about this other one. This is metal.
Yes, it's
and,
metal.
And what's it titled? What does it depict?
Actually, this is a mask that is used for decorative. You know, mask has been used in Nigeria and almost every known culture for decorative. It's symbolic of culture, representing where we actually came from. This particular one is actually my own design. It wasn't copied from any culture.
Okay.
But actually made it with objects that were found, discarded parts. That is where the found object actually comes in, you know, waste to wealth. Picking objects that are not readily in use anymore, now piecing it together to form an art that you can use to beautify your homes.
Putting this together, you had to weld?
Yes, I had to weld.
So, you know, that's the next thing. Did you have to learn welding to get this together, or you had to get somebody weld it for you? How did you come about?
Once you start studying art, you are not limited to anything.
Okay.
I didn't actually learn welding separately, but I could weld. In the process of studying art, you have to teach yourself all of those things, both bricklaying, both carpentry, both welding and all that. So this actually started from modeling. I had to model it in clay. Then once I had my mold, I had to start putting these nuts one after the other.
On the mold?
Yes, on the mold, welding it together to become what it is today. Wow. So I can actually weld very well now. I can do carpentry work, I can do bricklaying work and all that, just from studying art.
When you put up all of this, like, okay, let's take a look at some of these ones that we can see. These are major sculptures. This is clay, right?
Yes, yes.
What we're seeing now is clay. Life size. I can see that most of them are life size.
Yes, yes, yes.
To commission something like this, how long will it take you?
All right. The thing is this. It depends on the availability of material.
Okay.
If all the materials are actually available, in a month you can actually start and finish an 8-feet sculpture, depending on the material you want to use. If it is a clay to fiberglass, which is one of the most common material to use, clay to fiberglass casting, you can actually finish that in a month. But if it's bronze takes processes and takes time. You know, bronze, the lifespan and the durability, it takes time. So it is long. So in making bronze works too, it takes time and it is more expensive. Just like the Statue of Liberty, it was made with bronze. So that work there can be there for a long time. So most of these works that we have here are works that some are commissioned, some are commissioned, and some I made for myself.
For yourself?
For exhibition.
For exhibition?
Yes.
Have you ever had an exhibition, a solo exhibition?
No, I have not actually done solo, but I've done a couple of group exhibitions.
Okay.
And I'm also a member of a Society of Nigerian Artists. I have exhibited with them.
Okay, so regularly they exhibit, right?
It's once in a year they exhibit, which is known as the October Rain.
Okay, and you have been part of that exhibition?
Yes, yeah.
Do you have any plans for a solo exhibition?
Yes, I have a plan. But that should be next year because I have a couple of works I'm actually doing now, which is going to be for that.
For that one. Finally, what does art do to you as a person? What do you, what do you get from it?
I don't think I would have been able to succeed in anything if I'd actually ventured in any, aside from art, either the practical aspect or the teaching aspect, because I love teaching, right? So I had to further to get a degree in education in order to be able to actually teach this art. So for like 13 years now, I've been teaching art. Yes, part-time basis. I go to schools to educate the young minds about art because our parents are not readily available to allow their children to do art because they don't actually see prospects.
Yeah, like what you said, you didn't learn art in secondary school,
yes.
So now you are using the opportunity to teach people so that the kind of things, they have a better opportunity to make a choice of themselves. That's wonderful. This is me and us here wishing you the best and all of that. But let's just say, how affordable, so let me use that word now, art can be expensive to people that appreciate it. How is the appreciation? This is in, let's look at it in consonance with the money now. Do Nigerians, have we started appreciating art? Can we spend money on art? How affordable is such?
It is no longer the way it used to be. People are beginning to see the value of art. People are beginning to appreciate it. People are beginning to spend money in art. Unlike in the past, people they could go for something else in place of art. But now, people are spending real money in art now. We have young people that are art collectors now. In the past, we have just few that buys art. I have friends that they are doing so well with their art now. They've actually traveled outside the country because of this thing that they're doing.
Wonderful.
Because people are actually beginning to accept it. Parents are beginning to allow their children to practice this art. Yes. And parents are beginning to spend money because art is value. And because art cannot be placed, cannot be boxed with a price. You cannot say this work, this is the amount you can sell it. It depends on the person that is buying it and how well the person appreciates it.
Values the art.
Yes. Somebody can come to me now and say he wants to buy this for 100,000. I look at the person, okay, this is the person's worth. So I can decide to give it to the person. But somebody else can actually come, if I see this person actually have value for art and he has the fund to actually buying it, of course, there is more. So the price is not boxed, it's not fixed.
It's not fixed. All right.
Yes.
Obi Emmanuel, thank you very much. This is quite an expose that you've given us. And here's also wishing you the best. Keep up doing what you're doing, especially teaching, so that children can make choices that are okay for them.